Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today, I guess we got to talk about that impeachment nonsense some more. And that's what it is. It is now nonsense. I'm not talking about the grounds. There are certainly grounds to impeach the president. I'm not talking about the process. I'm talking about the theatrics that are now being thrown out. It is utter nonsense. And the big question is the Senate going to convict? The pundits are saying that it's highly unlikely and that we don't have precedent. We do have precedent for something this ridiculous. We really do. But I would agree it's probably unlikely. Today I watched as Republican representatives compared the impeachment to Pearl Harbor and the crucifixion of Christ. Man, I didn't see that coming. I gotta be honest. I didn't see that coming. But what bothered me more than the just ridiculous rhetoric was the continued complaint that the president didn't have due process during the House's proceedings. It bothers me because these are representatives saying this. These are representatives saying this, not just random people on Twitter. These are representatives on the House floor saying this, as if they don't actually understand how the process works. The impeachment in the House is the indictment. There's nothing in the Constitution requiring the House to even notify him that it's happening. Nothing. The trial takes place in the Senate. I can understand a newly minted representative not knowing this when they arrive. However, once an impeachment proceeding begins, you kind of figured it's something that you would brush up on. Now, the only options are either they don't know the basics of their job, or they're intentionally misleading their constituents. They're playing on the gullibility of their voters. I have to assume they're lying, but I could be wrong about that. But at the end of the day, we do have precedent. In the late 1800s, in a town in Kansas called Argonia, women had just gotten a little bit of political power. They could have a say in political issues now. Men didn't like it. They didn't want women to worry their pretty little heads about such things. So they orchestrated a prank. And that prank was to take the local temperance movement, the Women's Christian Temperance Union, take their platform, their preferred candidates, and nominate them, but switch out the candidate for mayor and replace it with a woman, Susanna Salter. Miss Salter didn't know she was on the ballot until after the polls opened. Did no campaigning. But when, after the joke had been played, some people asked her if she would accept if she was elected. And she said yes. And she won in a landslide. The moral of this story is that right now, both Democrats and Republicans, they're waiting for that morning. Both are hoping that some new evidence is going to come out. Democrats are hoping that more evidence of the president's misdeeds will surface and cement the drive for removal, and force the Republicans to remove the president. That's what they're hoping for. The Republicans are hoping for either the American public to grow weary of trying to get to the truth, or maybe some genuinely believe there is some exonerating evidence out there. If they don't know how their job works, it's very likely they didn't read any of this. So there could be a few that earnestly hope the president is innocent. They're waiting for that morning. They're waiting for those townspeople to walk up and say, hey, would you accept? And that's really what it's boiling down to. The Senate has to figure out what the American people will accept. before they cast their vote. At least that should be their goal. We don't know if it will be. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.